Listen to this episode if you are planning your 2026, but you're wondering what you're missing. P.S. It is this one thing. This might be one of the most important conversations that you have when it comes to planning your next year. I know everybody right now, it's kind of Christmas vacation. Everybody's taking a little bit of time. They're done with their sales. We're starting to look ahead. We're starting to look for the new year. We're all starting to look at what do we want to do. We're planning Q1. We're planning everything ahead. And I know many of you might already be planned, but this is still going to be very helpful for you because this is something many people miss. You might already be planning. You might not. You might be planning your products, your launches, your marketing ideas, but most of you forget this one thing. The consumer is also changing year over year. Your planning isn't just about what you want. They are also changing what they value, how they shop, what they're willing to spend, what makes them trust a brand and love them and feel connected to them. It shifts every single year. Marketing principles may stay the same. I've been teaching the same principles for a very long time, but we must adapt to the consumer. That is why I religiously study consumer behavior. I study trends. I study what's going on in the world, what the consumer confidence is like, what's changing. I am a nerd when it comes to this type of stuff. Why? Is because once you know marketing principles, you can build businesses, you can build markets. This is what matters when it comes to staying relevant. When it comes to truly planning, we have to adapt for how the consumer is actually acting now. This is something that many people miss when it comes to their future plans of their business. Marketing principles stay the same, but consumer behavior is constantly shifting. And the brands who fail to evolve will get stuck where they are. I might be a sucker for this stuff, so I want to let you in on the inside insight of all of the things that I have been seeing as trends within the marketplace. I see the behind the scenes of dozens of different businesses at a time. I see what happened through the Christmas season. I see what happens as the new year rolls around. I see now what has happened over a decade of helping businesses with their marketing. And so I want to bring these things to you. There's many pendulums swinging. There is a lot to happen in 2026. This is kind of a three-part series that we are doing. Today's episode is about the consumer trends that we're seeing moving forward. The next episode is about how to actually do an annual plan that you stick to. And then the episode after that is what we predict to actually be really important from a strategy perspective and as a business owner in 2026 moving forward. So make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast so you get all three of these 2026 planning, reflecting, and, future-scaping episodes to come. They're going to be good, and I'm so excited to dive into this with you. This episode is all about what the 2026 consumer is telling us through data, behavior, and trends. So you can adapt, lead, and meet the market where it's actually going, not where it used to be. Because let me tell you, many people are stuck in 2016 with their marketing strategies, with how they're running a business. This is the future. And it's not even the future, it's the now. We need to be doing these things now, and they're not going away anytime soon. Again, consumer trends adapt, but you have to adapt with them. Otherwise, you will get left behind. People will it's just the ones that fizzle, and we don't want you to fizzle. If you're new here, I just want to take 10 quick seconds to say hello. My name is Madison Page. I am the host of the Small Business Growth Podcast. I am a business growth specialist that works with hundreds of product-based business owners to help them grow their brand, to help them become that next disruptive brand in their industry and become household names. I help you with marketing, branding, sales, community building, really helping you build out that D2C channel. And that is what this podcast is all about. We have 400 plus episodes. We put out episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And starting January 2nd, we have a really major change coming around here for the podcast. So make sure that you're sticking around. Make sure you're keeping an eye out for that because I want you to be able to find this podcast no matter what. So welcome. I'm so happy you're here. If you're here every year for this little series at the end of the year of what happened, a good recap, how do we plan moving forward in our predictions and our trends, welcome. I'm so happy to have you back. For first things first, I want to say is most founders are planning based on what they want to make, what they want to sell, what they want their revenue to be, what they find exciting, what worked for them last year, and what they are truly excited about. I'm here to tell you that instead of planning things around what matters to you, we have to plan things about what matters to the consumer. The consumer is also evolving. And if we think about it, since 2020, the consumer has evolved so incredibly much. Think about business in 2020, whether you were in business or whether you were just a consumer in 2020, the world has changed since 2020. Have you changed as a business? Have you adapted to the new consumer? That's not the same consumer that we have in 2026. The attention span is different. Their expectations of a brand are different. Their trust levels are different. Their decision-making process has changed. How people actually buy has greatly shifted over these last 5 to 6 years, over these last 10 years, over these last 20 years. Consumer behavior is constantly shifting. And if your brand doesn't shift with it, then it becomes kind of outdated. It could becomes something that, again, it just kind of fizzles into the background. So I want you to really break down how the 2026 consumer is changing and what they're telling us that they expect from brands moving forward. So when you're planning 2026, you can put some of these strategies, trends, and tangible practices into everything that you are doing. So first things first, what do we know about the 2026 consumer? The first thing is that they want value and purpose deeper than just a product. We are in an era of people demanding messaging, missions, and value behind their brand. The consumer is no longer just buying a product because they think it's the best product on the market. It can't just be cute. It can't just be affordable. It can't just be trendy. They're asking, what does this mean for me? What is my dollar going towards? What does this say about who I am? Does this brand align with my values? This is kind of the new quote unquote cancel culture, right? Is making sure that who you're supporting also supports similar things. This doesn't have to be political. This can be sustainability. This can be wellness. This can be health. But you need to know for your consumer, for your ideal customer, what do they actually value? What are their new values? What do they value in a brand? Over this last Black Friday, I just spent triple on a shirt. I actually just got it yesterday. I got one shirt from Amazon that was like 100% polyester. And I got one shirt it's called Packed, and it was 100% organic cotton. If you know me, you know that I like organic. You know that I like kind of this wellnessy, clean living kind of style, right? And so that is where I wanted to put my dollars. This $9.99 shirt, I literally put it on and I was like, I don't even know why I bought this because this doesn't align with my values anymore. And it's probably going to go back. I don't feel as good in a polyester shirt that I now know, what polyester is doing to the environment, doing to me while I wear it, when I wash it, all of these other things. I don't really align with those values with that purchase anymore. So I'm going to spend literally probably 10x on an organic cotton long sleeve shirt, whether or not it is the cheapest, the best option, whatever that looks like. I just like how it makes me feel, and I am going to consistently support that brand because of it. I like that brand gives 5% of their profits to this. I like that this brand cares about all of these other things that I care about. I'm going to connect with that brand, and I know that the perceived value is higher. You have to do that exact same thing. We are seeing rising interest in brands that obviously have a very clear purpose. If your brand is just out here willy-nilly without a value, without a mission, or without a purpose, and you're just pushing the product in people's faces, if I ask you right now, a question to ask yourself, if this is something that you have, is if I ask you what is unique about your brand, your product, and your brand right now, and your answer is something that another, 1,000 other brands probably have, you don't have a clear value or a driven purpose in your business. If I were to ask you right now, what does your brand stand for? And can I see it in your marketing clearly? And your answers to that are, I don't really know, or, no, they can't see it clearly. You might have something that you do stand for. Many people come to me with a mission, with a reason behind why they started their brand. And yet they are not marketing it because they feel like nobody cares. They feel like it's a personal mission. That mission is actually what's going to make you stronger. And because young millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha are demanding this, and as they come up within the consumer space, you are going to need some sort of values to be in the forefront. People are going to continue to demand this. 73% of Gen Z and Gen Alpha say they will not buy from a brand that they do not align values with. Whether you like this or not, whether you feel this way or not, this is what the consumer is saying. If this is not something that you are attributing to, that's fine. But many other people are feeling this way. We see it all the time of people leaving platforms because of what they're advertising or what they're saying or who they came out in support of. Again, this doesn't need to be political. This can be, it definitely can be, which is why I have mixed reviews on political stances in business. But what this also is do you believe in sustainability? Are you making practices for health, for wellness, for clean ingredients, whatever this might be, or just empowerment and confidence and inclusivity? What is it that you are really driving towards? You need a mission deeper than just, I want to sell products. And if you don't have one right now, we need to find one. There is decline in impulse buys without a purpose. There's growth in mission-driven consumer spending, and there's rising interest in brands with a clear purpose. People care, and so you need to too. And you need to be clearer about those values than ever before. The next one is that this consumer wants connection with a person as well as this mission. In the rise of AI, people are going to require more personal connection than ever. We're going to talk about this when it comes to my 2026 projections in an episode that comes out a week from today. But what we're really talking about here is we really need to balance this difference between automation and connection. If you guys have been in my community for any amount of time, you know that I preach community building and relationship building businesses. This is going to be even more important than ever before in 2026 because consumers are starting to realize that is what they actually care about. People don't want AI nonsense out there. People don't want to feel like they're constantly talking to an AI robot. They want personal connection. It's going to be very easy for people to create very beautiful packaging, very beautiful marketing, very lovely graphics because AI just consistently is getting better and better and better. So what's going to separate you from everybody out there that has streamlined everything through AI is going to be your personal connection with you, with your mission, like we just talked about, with your values, and with the personal connection that they feel to your brand over other brands. Human-led brands outperform faceless brands by 42%. UGC content that feels native and almost as if you're talking to a friend on FaceTime is performing best on ads and across all marketing channels. And founder-led storytelling increases conversions by 32%. Those numbers are staggering. What it tells us is you don't need to be an influencer. And I know so many founders are like, Maddie, I really don't want to be the face of my brand. That's okay. You don't have to be, but there needs to be a person in the forefront that they can at least see the story behind the brand and they can at least connect to somebody. There is a reason that Flo from Progressive exists, that Jake from State Farm exists. And that's because it's really hard to connect with a brand that doesn't have a face, that doesn't have, insurance is something that is pretty cold and faceless, right? And so they added those people so you can connect with something, connect with a vision, connect with a purpose. Think about Nike right now. Do you feel connected to Nike? No, because there's no face. We don't know the founder. We don't know the CEO. It is so up in the air at this point. But think about a brand like Base Luggage. Do we feel connected to that brand? Look at Rode. Do we feel connected to that brand? Now, I know those are both celebrity brands, but there's a lot more behind those celebrity brands because there's thousands of celebrity brands out there that don't have the reach and the market share that those two brands do. Even Rare Beauty, all of those, it's because they have a connection point. They have a mission behind their brand and they have a connection point to the founder and the story behind why this was created. The consumer wants a person and a mission. And if you don't have either one of those, you will be left behind moving forward. It doesn't mean you need to be an influencer, but it does mean that we need to have some personal connection within our marketing strategy. Hey, I'm jumping in here for 30 quick seconds for those of you listening and thinking, all right, but how do I actually apply this to my business? Every week here, I share strategies, case studies, growth mistakes to avoid, but your business growth is nuanced. So your business support has to be nuanced as well. That's why all of my support includes me inside of your business, your ideas, your launches, your content, perfecting what you're already building and uncovering your hidden opportunities to scale. This isn't a cookie cutter course. It's a high level personalized support system to help you optimize your brand, your strategy, and every single person your business touches. If you want my eyes and my brain on your branding, your sales, your marketing, and your overall growth plan, click the link in the show notes to apply. Let's see what we can build together. Next is they expect instant clarity and easy information. We're in an age where all of this information is at our fingertips. Nobody is going to dig. Nobody is going to be confused and figure it out. People need immediate information. Our attention spans are lower than ever. The average American attention span is less than goldfish. It's like 2 seconds at this point. I know, unfortunately, I am in that ball game. If something is not all over the place, keeping me interested, I bounce. And it's one of those things that we don't try to do, but it is just what we have because we have all of these short form videos and it's what we have in today's age. Your attention span is really, really low. Bounce rates on websites on unclear product pages are through the roof because if people are confused, if you confuse them, you lose them. Consumers reward brands that make decision making easy. If you have a million products on your website and people don't know which one to choose, decision fatigue is at an all-time high. Attention spans are at an all-time low. With those two data points, in and of themselves, that tells us that we need things to be as clear as possible, as dummy proof as possible, and as few decisions that they need to make as possible. This is why we cannot be launching brand new product lines constantly in your business. Keep it with the product lines you have and just make it clearer because your consumer will thank you. Your sales will thank you as well. These people, because we have information at our fingertips, they will not dig for more than 5 to 10 seconds before you lose them. So we have to make things as streamlined and as clear as absolute possible. And another thing, if we look at this is where those kind of AI bots are coming in. It's like, okay, this is where this AI bot is going to connect with them and they're going to be able to direct them there. But if we go back to number 2 is that they want a connection and a person, and people are going to get sick of this robotic everything very quickly. And so we have to find this happy medium. The next one is again, they're going to want speed and efficiency. We are in a fast moving world, my friends. People can order something on Amazon today and it can be on their doorstep by 7 a.m. So they're not going to be willing to wait as long as you might be making them wait right now. Amazon has trained us. TikTok Shop accelerated it because things can be there so quickly. We can buy with one click. Look at all of these platforms. How many of you are using Apple Pay to buy things because it's literally seamless? I just have to click Apple Pay and double click a button and that will be on my doorstep in just a couple of days. We need ease. We need efficiency. We need automation. Brands offering rapid shipping will see higher retention. Consumers abandon carts when shipping is unclear or slow is going to be longer. If you're on Amazon right now, people are going to switch over strictly just because you can get 2-day shipping. And this isn't something from a consumer on my side. If I know they're on Amazon, I'm going to buy it on Amazon because I know that I can get it within 48 hours with free shipping versus if I'm buying on your own website, it's going to be 5 to 7 days. I might have to pay for shipping, all of these other pieces. As a business consultant, that is why Amazon is a little iffy right now that we don't know if we want to be there because Amazon is not your full profit purchase. That's something we can get into another day, but they will want speed and efficiency. So how can we add speed, ease, and efficiency? Apple Pay, quicker shipping times, free shipping built in to your pricing, a bunch of different tangible things that we can add in here to allow for this ease of information, this ease of checkout, this ease of actual purpose overall. We've seen a lot in 2025 of people, if they have too many options, too many customization options, that people are going to bounce. And that is really important for us to solve ASAP. The next one is they expect personalization without the pressure. This is really important. Again, going back to balancing this human versus automation is going to be a major conversation that we are having moving into 2026. These people want to feel seen. Of course, they don't want it to feel like they're being stalked and constantly tracked all day long, but they need to feel seen as a brand. They want to be seen, really coached through the buying process. This is why the transitional phases of the buying process are a major point that I work on with all of my clients. We really nurture our customers in the transitional phases. Why? If we confuse them, we lose them. If they don't know where to go, they won't go anywhere. And they want this personalization. People need to be a little bit coached through the process. Another thing that we're looking at is people are sold out, meaning they're getting sold to everywhere they look, from influencers, from UGC, from creators just, happen to be selling to them on their stories, on their feed, on TikTok Shop. We are being sold to from all directions always. And so what we see here is that people are more skeptical. Again, we're in the age of information. People are skeptics. That brings us into one of these next points. So we need this level of personalization. We need this level of coaching. We need this level of support within actually moving people through the buying cycle. We want personalized messages. They perform 3 to 5 times better. If you can personalize an email, it will perform better. Over automation actually increases unsubscribes and makes people kind of tune out to everything that you're doing. So again, we're balancing this AI, this automation versus this personability. And we can do both, but you have to do it very intentionally. So we have to personalize things. We have to make them feel seen. This is also going to help by niching down, talking about their values, talking about the problems that they have. I got pushed an ad the other day that was basically like, are you a wellness gal that looks at all of your ingredients and you switch to 100% cotton underwear and you're tracking your cycle naturally? And I'm like, that's me. I just got called out. And they said, and your husband is still wearing polyester boxers? Check out our website. That is personalized to me. They are so specific because they called exactly me. They called out girlfriends. I guess I'm a wife now. Wifey. It's the same thing. Your man is wearing this. And so that translated over to me being like, holy cow, this brand really knew where I am, the exact type of person I am, and my problem that I have. And they called me out a little bit. And that is personalization. They didn't have to say my name in order to really call me out. They could say within their messaging very specific examples to say, oh, wow, this is for me. The next one is, and this is not going to shock anybody, is they want community, identity, and belonging within a brand. People are lonelier and more disconnected than ever before. Everybody is searching for community and connection and identity in so many different areas. They want to feel like they belong to something. A brand isn't just a store anymore. It's a little micro community that they feel like they are involved in, that they feel like they're a part of, that they feel like they're supporting. This is why founder-led brands can garner so much support, is because people feel like they were along for the ride. They feel like they're friends of yours. They feel like they're a part of this. Consumers gravitate towards these brands that they feel like they're a part of. Community-based brands show a 30 to 50% higher customer retention. The amount of profitability that will increase is life-changing if you can just focus on this retention. Again, if you've been in my community for a long time, some of these things are things that we've been preaching for years, but now people just require it. Before it was an added push. We were a little bit ahead of the game there because we saw this trend coming. Now it is required. If you're not focusing on community, if you're not focusing on value, if you're not focusing on connection or mission, pushing those pieces out there, you are going to be missing out on sales, missing out on retention, and your business is going to get left behind. So when I say community, I don't mean that you need to have a Facebook group. I mean that we need to get these people a part of something. We need to build an identity around your brand. This is done with really solid marketing. This is done getting them involved. This is done by creating a space where community can actually flourish within your marketing. Last but not least, in what consumers are going to demand of you in 2026 is, we've already kind of touched on it, they are skeptical. They want proof. We are now duped all the time on these like drop shipping websites. How many of you were a victim of a drop shipping website in 2025? I can put my hand up for like 3 to 4 different products. And I am somebody that is an analytical shopper, but sometimes they're so dang good at good marketing. Why? Is because the barrier to entry now with building a brand is so much lower. It's really easy to build something that looks pretty legit. People can get duped really easily. I've been duped. I bought this supplement the other day that it came to my house. I'm like, this is totally fake. I would never put this into my body. Like, there's no way I'm doing that. We've all been handed this ad that looked really good, had really solid promises, had faked testimonials. And now we can look back and say, wow, that was a stupid purchase. But moving forward, it has made the consumers more and more skeptical. They will trust reviews, real customer photos, honest storytelling, engagement on your social media, transparency, before and afters. If we look at these profiles, again, because of AI, everything we're going back to is going back to AI right now. But if we look at AI, it's really easy to create a fake before and after. If we say, hey, make me a before and after of somebody that has really thin hair and really thick, voluptuous hair, and you can make that. What they're going to be looking for is community. What they're going to be looking for is, how is this actually helping people? Where can I find the proof? We see people using websites like Trustpilot so they can go and look at it. People are searching you up on Reddit. All of these pieces are really important to get the consumer really excited about your brand. UGC is going to drive this. Influencers are going to drive this. Social proof is going to drive this. We have to understand that our audience is more skeptical than ever at this point, and it's on us to make them feel like this is a connection-driven brand. We have videos. We have a personal story. They can see the founder behind the brand, and they have that personal connection. So what does this mean for you? I know right now a lot of you guys are thinking, I don't want to be the face of my brand. I hate the idea that I have to be this influencer. I don't really want a personal brand. It doesn't need to be that way. This is actually just strategic tweaks in your marketing. It might mean you need to show your face. Having your face in your marketing is never going to be a negative behind your brand. Having some sort of founder story behind it is only going to create a more connection, but it's not absolutely necessary. What is necessary is storytelling, is connection, is value, and is prioritizing community in these different pieces. Your consumer is demanding it. Brands who win in 2026 will be the ones who stop guessing, stop dragging their feet, stop questioning themselves, stop fearing all of these changes, and actually just start adapting. They're the ones that are saying, I don't care what is going on, this is what I'm going to say. They're not chasing trends. They're following the consumer. They're saying, this is what the consumer wants. You can be timeless and still follow the consumer. We still have to adapt to what the consumer wants. We don't have to do more. We have to do with what is aligning with current buyer psychology. This doesn't mean you need to post more often. This shouldn't add anything to your plate. It's actually just adjusting what your messaging looks like. It's adjusting what your marketing looks like. It's adjusting maybe a pillar of content that you currently have. You don't have to reinvent your business in order to connect with this, in order to abide by these consumer regulations. You just have to align with who your buyer is becoming and what they are requiring of their brands. Our consumers require more of businesses now than ever before. They really are demanding that you have a value. Again, none of this has to be political. What I am talking about here has nothing to do with politics. I am talking about value, and that is really what matters here. To recap through this list really quickly before we dive into kind of our ending, closing, what we are putting it all together with. First things first, we said that they want value and purpose deeper than just a product. They want to connect with a person or a mission with every brand. They expect instant clarity and ease of information. They want speed and efficiency in everything that they're doing. They expect personalization without pressure. They want community, identity, and belonging with every purchase. And they want proof because we've built a lot of skeptics. What you're going to see here is a lot of these pieces are balancing this automation versus this connection. And it's really important within everything that you're doing to understand that we are needing to make things more efficient because of AI. And it is going to be very easy for us to be able to do that in 2026. But we also need to add more personability behind everything that we do because that is also going to be required. And those two things can exist at once. We just need to take the correct actions in order to make that happen. I hope that this was helpful for you. As always, I am so happy that you are here. I know I've said this already. We have some big changes coming in the next couple of weeks. As of January 2nd, we have a really big announcement here. And the next 2 episodes episodes are also part 2 and 3 to this conversation. So if you found this really helpful, we're diving deeper into it of how to actually annual plan. And then we're going to talk about what we foresee from a strategy perspective that every brand is going to need moving into 2026. So if you want that conversation, make sure that you follow along, you subscribe to the podcast. Literally 50+% of you guys listen all of the time, but you don't actually subscribe to the podcast. And so make sure you're subscribed. You'll be notified. It makes it where you don't have to go and search it. But I'm so glad that you're here. If you have any questions on this or you have anything that you want to bring to light, you know I love this conversation. Please come to me. My DMs are always open. You can feel free to DM me, connect, and I'd love to sit down with you on a call for a true business audit, completely complimentary. We'll sit down and we can see where we can add in some of these strategies and where your hidden opportunities to grow in 2026 are. DM me on Instagram, connect. That is at This Is Madison Page. I would love to chat with you there. My DMs are always open. I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner always, and I will see you very soon. If you found today's episode helpful and are looking for more tangible ways to grow your business, make sure you are subscribed to the show. If you want to dive deeper into this topic more, click the link in the show notes and join our completely free podcast community where we dive into every single podcast topic, as well as give some bonus support and free coaching calls. And finally, if you are interested in getting my eyes on your business to find your hidden opportunities to scale, apply to work with me one-on-one in the show notes or on our website. Remember, it's not enough to listen. Don't forget to implement too. I love ya. I'll see you in the next episode.